Hey, what's going on everybody? It's T-Squared Games here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube without algorithms. Before you learn how to solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube, you really should learn how to solve the 3x3 and have it memorized, because that's going to help you a lot with the 4x4, and I'm not going to go through all of that in this tutorial because I would just expect you to know how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. You can click on the tutorial here, or I'll put a link in the description to it if you want to see my tutorial on that. Another thing is you should really know how to manipulate the cube and how to move pieces where you want them to go, because there's not just set steps for everything in this tutorial, and there's not set steps for everything when you're solving the cube. So for example, what I'm talking about is, if I wanted to put this white line right here, you pretty much have to be able to know how to do that. Like, I know if I wanted to put it there, I would just go like that, and the white line's there. But you really just need to have a sense of how pieces move around the cube and how to get them where you want them. Alright, with that out of the way, we can get started. So the first step, if you haven't already, is just to scramble up your cube. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that the cube is scrambled up, we can start with what we need to do. So you may notice that unlike in the 3x3, the 4x4 has 4 different centerpieces, and they can move however they really want to. So our first step is going to be to build all of the centerpieces, so that way we won't have to worry about them moving around. So here's how you do that. Obviously we're going to start with the white center, and then we'll do the yellow center, and then we'll go all the way around the sides. So here's how you do the white center. First, you want to find just one white centerpiece. If it's the one with the logo on it, I recommend starting there because it's going to be the easiest to find. Otherwise, you can just look for another one on the cube. Anyway, so once you've found that, put your finger on it and go around and find another white center. So here's another one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get these two paired up in a line. So how we're going to do that is we're going to get this one so it's in the same orientation as it would be on this side. So if we just put it here, then we can see that this is in the top right corner, and when we put it over here, we want it to be in the top right corner, just like that. So to pair them up, all we need to do is just bring it over like that, and now we have the white line. Now we just need to get the other two centers in a line and then put the two lines together. So we'll find the other two white centers, mine are here and here, and we'll do the same thing. So what we're going to do now is put that there, and we're going to put it there, just like that. So now that we've got our two white lines, one here and one here, now we have to put them together. So since they're on opposite sides, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to swing this one all the way onto this side. So how we're going to do that is we're going to position it how we want it to be. So here, going into here, and then we just swing it around. And as you can see, we now have formed the white center. Now we need to form the yellow center, which on most cubes, yellow is opposite white. If it's not opposite white on yours, just do the color that is supposed to be opposite white. But most of the time, like 99% of the time, it's going to be yellow. We're going to pretty much do the same process. We just want to get two yellow centerpieces into a line, and we make the other two yellow centerpieces into a line, and we put them where they need to go. So for these two yellow centerpieces that we're going to put together, I'm going to put this one into the orientation that I want it to be on this side. So I'll just swing it. Nope, it's not there. Okay, there we go. So now we can just swing it across. We've got ourselves a yellow line. Now what we want to do is we want to move this yellow line to the bottom where it belongs. So how we're going to do that is we're going to swing it down like this. But you can see that once we've done that, it splits up our white center, and that's not what we want to happen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to swing it out of the way. So now it's not connected to this white center anymore, and we can just bring the white back up. So we have that, and we have this on the bottom. Now we need to find the other two yellow centers, which are here and here, and we're going to put them together into a line. So it looks like I'm going to have to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to do that just like so by switching it around, and you can see that it's out of there now. So here is our 2 yellow centers now. We'll move this one into the position where we want it to go, and we'll just put them together like that. So now you can see we have the 2 yellow lines together, and how we're going to do this now to put it down here, you'll see that when we put it down here to connect the two and form the yellow center, well, obviously this connects up here. So the obvious thing would be, up to this point, we say, oh, well, we can just do what we did before, and we'll switch this around twice and bring the white back up. But you can see that that doesn't solve our problem at all, because it just splits up the yellow again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in a straight line like this. So that way we can bring down the side with the line, and then when we turn the yellow side this time and we bring it up again, you can see that it forms both centers by connecting both of them. So that's what you would do there, and now we have our white center and our yellow center complete. Now you can move on to the middle center, and it really doesn't matter which one you start with. I would just recommend going for the one that looks the most completed. If you already have a line of one, for example, then I would go for that color. So for me, I'm going to start with blue because I have a line of it straight away right there. And so what we're going to do with blue, obviously if you don't have any lines like this formed of the centers, then you're going to need to do one just like how we did before. And since these are on opposite sides, it shouldn't really mess with anything. So what we're going to do for blue, obviously, since this line is already done, we're going to make the other line. So it looks like this center is already aligned how we want it to be. So we'll just move it over like so. And now that we have our 2 blue lines, we can just move this one underneath because that's where it needs to slide. And we'll slide it on under. So there we go, we have our 3 centers completed now. And now the way you want to figure out how to do which of the next centers to do is you want to find yourself a corner piece with white on it. Now this is where the first part where solving the 3x3 comes in handy. You're just going to place this corner in as you would on a normal 3x3 cube. And you can see that when the white is aligned and the blue is aligned, that red should be on this side. So we're going to put red here, which means the orange has to be here and green has to be here because they're opposites. Let's get our red center built. So here are our 2 red lines, and what we're going to do with those is we are actually going to bring them around to where we want them to be right here. So we'll swing this red line around here, drop it down so we can bring the blue back. There we go. And so now we just need to bring the other red line over. Now the other red line is very similar to what we did with the yellow down here. We're going to need to bring it over in such a way that it does not impact the blue or the red. So really what you want it to be is you don't want it to be opposite like this. If you have the 2 lines opposite like this, follow these steps. Just bring your line over right next to the side where you want it to be, swing it up, and bring that back. So now it's right next to where you want it to be. Now what you want to do is you want to bring these together. So we're going to align them like we did with the yellow. We are going to swing this red one over. We are going to flip it up so it's facing upwards. And we are going to swing this red back. So now we have the blue, the red, the white, and the yellow completed, which means that green has to go here and orange has to go here. Now it looks like we've got our lines already completed. If you don't have your lines completed like this, obviously you're going to have to build them. It shouldn't be too hard at this point. And the way we're going to put these together on this side is we want to align them so that the same color is aligned on both of them. And what we're going to do now is we're going to swing the bottom. We are going to flip this one, and then we're going to bring back the middle. And now you can see that all of our centers are formed, and they're where they should be: red opposite orange, blue opposite green, and white opposite yellow. If you do not have this set up, you might need to rewind the video to get it correct. But all of your colors should be in the right position, And you can verify this by getting a corner with white on it like this one and just dropping it in like how you normally would and checking that the colors do match up on each center. The next part of the 4x4 is actually putting together the edges, because on a 3x3 you can see that the edge is just one piece and it doesn't move. But on the 4x4 it's actually two pieces that can be split up. So we need to pair these all back together. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the white edges, because those are the easiest to find. So just find two edge pieces with white on them that have the same secondary color. I'm going to start with my white red, so I'll find the other white red. Okay, here it is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just make the pieces so that they are aligned in this way, so that they're in different rows on the same face with different colors facing up. That's how you want it to be. So now to pair them up, we simply go like this. Voila. But you can see that that messed up all of our centers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to swing it into one of the sides, it doesn't matter which side, and then we're going to replace it with something we don't care about breaking up, bring that one back as if it's the other one, and switch all the centers back. And you can see that that forms our edge and we still have all of our centers. So we're going to repeat this process for the other white edges. Here's white green, and here's the other white green. And it looks like these are already aligned how we want them to be. So we're just going to repeat the same process. We put them together, we swing them to a side, we replace them with something that doesn't match up, that we don't care about. We swing that back where the green white was, and we switch our centers where we want them to be. So now you can see that we have formed our green and white edge as well as our red and white edge. Now we're going to go for blue and white. So here's blue and white, and here's blue and white. Now you can see that when I align them like this, they're in a straight line with the same color facing up. So one way to fix this would be to hold them towards the bottom, then you swing this one down twice, bring it to the bottom, turn the bottom, and flip it up. And you can see that they're now in the orientation we want them to be, and that hasn't messed up any of the things we've done so far. So we're going to repeat the process, swing it into the side, replace it with something we don't need, bring it back, and switch the centers back, and now you can see that we formed that edge. So our last one should be the white and orange, which is here and here. So we're just going to align them how we want them to be. We're going to put them together like so, swing them into one side, bring up something that we don't care about, bring it back, and we'll realign the centers. And now we have all of the white edges actually formed, as you can see. So now we're going to move on to the non-yellow edges, which means edge pieces that do not have yellow, and since obviously they won't have white either because we've already done all the white ones. Here's an example, the blue and red doesn't have yellow. So we're going to find the other blue-red here, and we're going to align them how we need them to be. So, like so. Swing it up, bring it to the side, replace it with something we don't want, bring that back, and realign all the centers. Now we're going to choose another non-yellow edge, for example, this blue and orange. We'll find our other blue and orange right here. Align them how we want them to be, which is opposite and flipped. Bring that up. Switch this over to one side. Replace it with something we don't want. Bring it back and realign our centers. Now the only two we should have left are the green orange and the green red. So I'll start with green red. Let's see, where is our other green red? Here's our other green red. So we'll align them how we want them to be, opposite and flipped. Bring this side up so they're aligned now. And now you can see that in this side of the cube, all of our edges are actually put together. So we can't replace it with anything we don't want because all of these are already done. So that's when you can swing it to the other side. Obviously then replace it with something you don't want, like this yellow, and then bring that back and realign your centers. And now you should have only one more non-yellow left, which for me in this case is green and orange. So I'll find my other green orange, which is here. And let's see. Align them so that they are opposite and flipped. Bring that up. Flip it to the side. Place it with something we don't want. Bring it back. And realign our centers. And now we should have every edge formed except for the yellow ones. Now what you're going to want to do is look around your cube and make sure how many yellow, you might have yellow edges put together. If you have all of them put together, you can skip this part, you can go to the next step. If you have 2 of them put together, you're going to need to break up one of them on purpose by swinging it into the side, replacing it with something else, and breaking it up. If you have one of them put together, then you can move on to the next part where we put the rest together all in one step. Now our goal is to have one of them put together. So if you have none put together, like I do, you're going to need to do this. You're going to need to find one, just one that you want to put together. Align it so the edges are opposite and flipped. I'm doing green and yellow. Put it together like so. Swing it into the side, replace it with something you don't want, realign the centers. And now you will see green and yellow is formed, and we should, all right, looks like I have 2 yellow edges put together now. So here's how you can undo one of them. All you need to do is get it, just split it apart, swing it into the side, replace it with junk, bring it back, and there you go. So you can see that you split it up, but you also have split up one other edge, which for me in this case is my white and red. So I'll just put that edge right back together. And you can see that that's gone ahead and that has split up our red and yellow, while we still have our green and yellow intact. So now we have 3 yellow edges that we need to put together: the red yellow, the orange yellow, and the blue yellow. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to align them as if we are putting them together. Like so. We are going to put the oranges together. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look how you bring it up. The one that is on top like this, you need to look at what the other color is. For me in this case it's red. Now you're going to want to find the other red-yellow edge, which for me is right here, and you're going to want to align it on the same side that this one is, in the same orientation. For example, with me, that would be yellow facing forward. And then obviously red would be on the side. So here's my red yellow. And to put it here, I'm just going to bring it over I'm just going to bring it down like this. Swing it around, lift it up, and then bring back what I was doing before. So now you can see that the red is like this. Now, you're going to want to remember what side this is on because this is very important. When you swing up this to connect it, you want to bring it to the side that your other 2 were on. So for me, it would be the left side. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually replace the edge that you're building right now with that pairing from before that you just brought up to this side. Now you're going to just swing it over, back like how you normally would. And then when you realign the centers, you'll see that both edges build themselves on their own. So now that you have all of the edges and all of the centers built, it's time to move on to solving the cube in layers. Now to solve the cube in layers, this is very similar to solving the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, so I'm going to go through it very, very quickly. Again, you can go to the tutorial in the description if you need to still learn how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. But here we go, we're going to just start solving it like a 3x3. So we're going to align the first edge in the cross, the white cross, and we're going to do that for all the edges. So just get that there. So once you have the white cross, you're going to need to put in your corners. and then you should have the first layer done. So once you have the first layer done, you can move on to the second layer, which is just like solving it in the regular 3x3. So you would find a non-yellow edge and just move it to the opposite side, do the whole corner placing steps, and then move on, find another non-yellow, move it to the opposite side, etc., etc. And then if you have none more left, you just bring one down. There we go. And our last one that needs to be placed in goes there. So we do that. Now you should have the final 3 layers of the cube solved. Now, when we move into the 4th layer, you may have just a standard thing here. What we are expecting, like the 3x3, is either to have a dot, where it is just the center, an L shape, like we have here, a straight line going all the way down, or the completed cross. And what we want to get to is the completed cross. But you may also find yourself in a different situation, which I will explain after I get through the cross here. So to solve the cross, you would just go about it how you would with the normal cube. And there we go, we have ourselves our cross. And we're going to align it like that. Okay, so if you've gone ahead and done it like this, you may find yourself in this situation. This is called a corner parity, where 2 of your corners are correct, but 2 corners are not in the correct position. And I'll show you the set of steps to fix this right now. Now, the steps you need to do to fix the corner parity is just like so. So it doesn't really matter what orientation your cube is in, just have the white on the bottom. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what direction it's facing. So here's what you need to do. First, you have to move this right middle piece down twice. Then you spin the top twice. Then you move the right middle piece down twice again. Then you spin the top twice, but the top 2 layers, like that. You move the right middle down twice again, and then you spin this middle part twice. And obviously that will mess up the alignment of your cross, but now your corners should be fixed. So we're going to go ahead and keep solving the cube from here. So there we go. So now we have the cross solved. Going to go ahead and get our corners in the right positions like this. Okay, and now you can see that that has fixed our corner parity, and we can go ahead and solve the cube. And as you can see, now your 4x4 cube is solved. Now I'm going to go over the other parity, which is called the edge parity, which occurs if you have only 3 of these like this, or if you have a T shape. Now, if you find yourself in this situation on the last layer, this is called an edge parity, where you have a short line like this, or you have a T in the other scenario. What you're going to do is you're going to follow this quick set of steps. So you want to have the edge you want to flip facing towards you, and just do this set of steps. Bring the right down once, turn the top twice, bring the left down, turn the front twice, bring the left up, turn the front twice, bring the right up twice, turn the top twice, bring the right up once, turn the top twice. Now bring the right down, turn the top twice. Now turn the front twice, flip the right down twice, and turn the front twice. And you can see that now this forms a straight line, or if you were doing the T, it would form the complete cross. So now you can move on to forming the cross and aligning the edges, and then doing the corners, like so. Now you may run into another corner parity, but I haven't here. So I'm just going to finish off solving the cube. And there you go. Your 4x4 is completely solved. So that's how you solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube without algorithms. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like down below. If you have a problem or you really enjoyed the tutorial and you want to leave some feedback, make sure to drop a comment. If you want to see more tutorials like this, make sure to click the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every time I post a video, you can click the little bell notification right next to the subscribe icon. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. T-Squared out.